CryptoBots in the building, the first play-to-earn game on Ethereum and one of the very first play-to-earn, or if we want to say play and earn, that seems to be where the trajectory is going. I'm very excited to sit here and talk with one of the co-founders, Anton, who has told me that they have quite a large team over at CryptoBots. They had quite a large co-founding team, and they've begun to build on the original collection of this 2017 play-to-earn game that came out December 29th, 2017. Did I get that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Back then, it was like ages ago in terms of crypto,
Right.
And the thing is, we got inspired by CryptoKitties. Of course, you know what it is. So we decided to make some experiments to make some game with NFT. There was no word NFT back then in 2017. So in about 2 weeks, we designed some prototype and we released in the end of 2017 the first iteration of the CryptoBots. So we have that foundation legacy from that time.
Right? How funny. CryptoKitties has truly inspired so many projects, just as CryptoPunks has inspired all of the PFPs, CryptoKitties has inspired the breeding and the gamification, even though they didn't have the play and earn, even though you could consider breeding play and earn, it just doesn't really get that classification. But let's dive a little bit into the CryptoBots history of the founding team, right? There's 4 people, you're all doxed, you're out in the open. Were all of you friends at the time? Did you meet in the world of crypto? And then if you were friends, how long had you been in crypto prior to creating CryptoBots?
So actually, back then, like the 2 co-founders, Dmitry and Simon, they were like. They co-founded the Playnet gaming studio in 2016, so a year before that, and the main focus was on like classic Web 2 mobile gaming, and so the Playnet is quite a successful studio. So for now, we have about 100 million of downloads total of our games, and for now we have, I suppose, 4 million of monthly active users in our games. So it was just experiments. Dmitry, he was like a co-founder of the ICO rating agency, who was like giving some ratings and doing some audits of different projects. And I was also near the project back then, so I was like having an advisory back then, and we did some work for CryptoBots back then. And it's really interesting. I just remember all the hype about the CryptoKitties back then, when there was the news that, hey, Ethereum, it was like crowded with own transactions. What? The game? What's going on? The whole Ethereum got stuck by the game. And I think the news, I remember that article that, hey, one CryptoKitty, it was bought by how many? Like 200.
I think it was like around 200,000. Yeah.
200 grand. So it was just, of course, it was marketed because some as far as I know, some founder, he just bought from themselves, but it was like early stage PR. So we developed the prototype for about 2 weeks and released it in the end of 2017. And it was just really like nights of developing and trying to make it before the new year. It was that goal. And actually, we really saw some potential of crypto gaming because it was too early, but like it was on some feeling that could be the door for mass adoption for where this like 2 big industries meet each other.
Right, and the CryptoBots team kind of fell upon the literally pico top of the 2017 bull market, right? It launched December 29th, 2017. I believe the top was sometime early January before it just went into that great crypto winter that we all know and unfortunately love. I was around at the same time, and I do remember I wasn't in the NFT space, but I do remember CryptoKitties almost bringing down the entire network, and I had no idea what the heck was actually going on because of the ICO boom. But back then, you had only CryptoKitties really as a blueprint of anything that kind of resembled traditional gaming or any sort of like gamification of something that isn't fungible tokens, because in 2017, everything was a fungible token and a white paper, and some without even the token, just the white paper.
Yeah.
As you guys deployed the contract, what did it look like in the near future, within the next 3 or 4 months, as you began to launch and try to find users while the market just completely implodes within itself over the next 6 to 8 months?
Actually, it was a mess because the game was fully on chain, so it was like quite hard to play because each transaction, each action, it was like on chain, and you should wait, and the transaction fees. We tried to make different mechanics, how to add something new to the game. For example, we integrated mechanic where you should burn your current CryptoBots to gain more rare ones or some special ones. So we had such mechanic like in the middle of 2018, I suppose. Yeah. So, but actually after maybe about a year, but by the end of 2018, there was no such interest in the game, and we saw how it's like decreasing. We're trying to. It was an experiment. We didn't raise money, or we didn't earn a lot because there was. So we didn't have so much bots, so it was like experimenting with the field, and so we had to freeze and to turn off the whole project 2 years after its initial launch day, because it was it was too early. So there was no layer 2 solutions. It was too expensive to play. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this seems to be a common byproduct in crypto, is being too early, and too early in crypto is just being one cycle before it actually kind of takes off. I know when it was rediscovered, there was only about 5,000 or so that had been minted, and then the team decided to artificially cap it at 10,000 for the Genesis collection, and then we'll get into the new game in a second. But you had about 5,000 people who had claimed. The number might be off just a little bit. How did the team market? Who did you market to? Was it marketing to the CryptoKitties community, and was it a free claim, or was there a minting cost associated with the minting or the creation of the CryptoBots in the beginning?
Yeah, so it was some minting price. It was don't remember the exact numbers, but even now it is the owner of the CryptoBots the OG owner can still make 10x by just selling it right now. But I think in the middle it was 50, about 50. So about the marketing, it was we did some articles on main medias for as CoinDesk or Cointelegraph, I suppose. So we did some PR. So it was. We were one of the pioneers, so it was quite easy to share. Hey, we have a game, we have something to offer to you. Just play a game on a blockchain. But as far as I know, the first blockchain integrated game, it's from my perspective, it's Spell of Genesis. That was in 2015, I suppose.
2015, yep.
And we are the first play to earn game with NFT collection. So that's how we market, on how we honestly say who we are, what background do we have. Yeah, and actually those fancy ones, or some user that had opportunity to get those by burning your like existing less expensive CryptoBots.
So this one, the bunny-eared one with the kind of winder in the back, or the cat within the robot, and some of these other ones. You took the original CryptoBots and you burned it, and it spit out one of these more ultra rare like. And did you only burn one, or was it a combination of a burning mechanism?
It was a combination of the burning mechanism when you don't know the exact like it was a little bit like gambling where you're burning and you don't know what you're gonna get, and if you burn, for example, 5 or more than one, you like have you have more chances to earn some interesting some rare or ultra rare.
I wonder if that's one of the first or earliest instances of a burning mechanism within an NFT burning mechanism. I can't think of anything at top of mind. I could be wrong, but burning the token and then spitting out a new one, that could be. I know the semantics are always a hot debate within crypto, but that could be one of like the earliest instances of a burning mechanism.
Yeah, that could be it. It could be, but there was like experiments, and everyone was like sharing, and it was like an inspiration to see. So yeah, I don't remember. We didn't. Did we have the reference?
Yeah, no problem.
It was years ago, right now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so I just pulled up for those that are listening the Medium post, which entails the entire history of CryptoBots, as we've been discussing. That the first line says, originally the creation of CryptoBots back in 2017 was inspired by CryptoKitties, the first big project in the NFT gaming industry, released just a few weeks earlier. Goes on to talk about being the first play to earn blockchain game. This is by the this would be by the definition of the Ethereum protocol, because of the smart contracts, right? Because of you have counterparty on Bitcoin, but it's not to the degree of Ethereum. And for some people that matters, some people it doesn't. I like this fun fact. CryptoBots was one of the first projects featured on OpenSea's main page launch. OpenSea, I believe, launched early. It was either December 2017 or January 2018.
2018, yeah. So we were, I think, the 4th or the 5th contract on the OpenSea. So we were also just, hey, an OpenSea and marketplace for NFTs. Yeah, we want to go there. Yeah, why not? Yeah, and I think the founders of the OpenSea, or the CEO, still having some CryptoBots on his public wallet. Yeah, so it's proof of the being in the first line of that project.
Interesting. So OpenSea originally, because the ERC 721 standard wasn't fully implemented until March 2021, or excuse me, March 2018. So there had to be probably some sort of back and forth conversation between you and the team to get those original ERC20 tokens on there, or the customized ones, I should say.
Yeah, actually, we have the problem right now with that, because we have at least like old ERC 721 contract that is not fully supported by the OpenSea right now, by their like updated version of the marketplace. So we had some issues with selling and buying the CryptoBots months before, but right now you can buy, you can sell it, and that's why we're having the second. We are having the wrapped contract on the OpenSea to get the full ownership, and to provide the possibility other marketplaces to trade the CryptoBots. And by the way, you see that like image when you're just the first image. The very first image in this article, where it is just some drawing and the CryptoBot and 3-dimensional CryptoBot, because we're going to have some NFT drop of these 3-dimensional bots for the owners of the wrapped CryptoBots, because we want the whales, we want our
Yeah.
owners of the classic ones to rob it. And this three-dimensional guy, it will be used in a game. So as a hero. So
I love the approach that the team's taking to incentivize the original holders to then wrap them in the new contract, which allows further development with the Genesis collection. Mooncats went through this kind of similar issue, and they encouraged participation through free accessories and through free airdrops of different things that are going to be in their ecosystem. Because I was going to bring this up because you have CryptoBots, and then you have wrapped CryptoBots, and then you have CryptoBots game. So if you come and look at it, you could be quite confused if you don't understand the full trajectory of what's going on.
Yeah. We were like having some issues with explaining because we have three collections. Actually, yeah, you're right, because we want to bring life to the collection, because the volume is the blood of the project. Because if there are some new incoming potential owners who are interested in the game, it's always good for the previous one. So we're in crypto, and the volume is so that we want to bring that wrapped collection to not only OpenSea but to other marketplaces. So that's why we're incentivizing the old holders to wrap it and to go to like next month.
I'm gonna have to wrap it because I actually wasn't aware of this until a few days ago when I looked at it. The 3D airdrop's cool. I pulled up the web page from their website that discusses the 3D collection.
These ones, they will be as heroes in a CryptoBots game. So you will have the player who is owning this like three-dimensional CryptoBots. He will gain some small but very valuable either defense or attack boosts for the whole team. So, and you can add different CryptoBots to like imagine in Heroes of Might and Magic, where it's like a hero and he's just standing and watching his army to battle. And this is the same, where this like classic OG guy is standing behind, where the new ones, the Genesis ones, and they're battling.
Yeah, this is, I love, like I said, I love the incentive. And on here on the right-hand side, level up, improve, synergize, boost your battle. So there's going to be a clear advantage if you have it. So you're incentivizing purchasing of the Genesis, which also provides additional income for the team to encourage the development of the project. And here it talks about the history. It's all over. And it goes from the stencil to the 2D image to the 3D image. And we're bouncing around here a little bit. So since now we've talked about taking the Genesis and wrapping it, so then you have the wrapped CryptoBots, as you see here. And then if you have the wrapped CryptoBots, you'll get the airdrop of the 3Ds that come into the game. Here is CryptoBots, the game. And now I've moved over. I'm on the OpenSea page. There's staking to it. I just want to cover the game itself, because essentially you have a 10,000 collection of the Genesis, and then you have a 10,000 collection of the game, and then you'll have whatever the X amount is of the 3D ones that are going to be combined. So you have 20,000, maybe a little bit more, or those are interchangeable. Here on the website, of course it makes sense that the first play to earn game on Ethereum is going to move to continue to build on the original vision of the game itself. In your own words, or in the team's words, how would you describe the game, and what is the goal and mission that you're looking to accomplish over the next year or so?
Yeah, so like a little story how we decided to make a fresh start. So maybe a year ago in summer of 2021, we saw the boom of play to earn, and we saw the really success of the X Infinity. But on the other hand, we saw the all drawbacks of the economy, and we just decided to bring the king back. Yeah. We really researched and developed a lot of mechanics how to make this economy stable. So it's the play and earn, play to earn. It's a little bit tricky in terms of the whole the names, but by the means what we want to really combine this engaging gameplay, this really fun to play with your friends or with some other like players you don't know as a team. So we're staking a lot on social mechanics inside of the game, and also of the like stable economy that is supported by this engaging gameplay. So and our vision is to shift from like non-zero sum gaming where there are a lot of winners, and that's not sustainable at all because you're also you always trying to like inject some value into the game and extract it, and the extraction proportion is also like too much comparing to the injection. So we want to shift to this like zero sum game. For example, a zero sum game is a poker where there are winners and losers. So slightly after several months of the gameplay, we want to switch to this zero sum game where it will be interesting and to play because you can lose. And let's talk a little about the gameplay. We have different layers of the gameplay. So just imagine you're a CryptoBot. You just find yourself on a planet. There is only a CryptoBot. You don't know who you are. You don't know like who your creator, where it is, how what's the story. And the first like creation, it was created for battling, for like destroying, and that's the deep philosophy behind the game is how to distinguish, how to like self-consciousness. Who am I? Am I a butler? Am I an explorer? Because you can, after some battling, the bots, they can be fused into spaceships, and using a spaceship, you will be able to explore the land to like find new territories. And then when you find some planets, you can build some facilities, some plants, or machinery on that, and to produce something useful for others. And this is the third level of the gameplay. So the first is battling with bots. The second is spaceships, battles and exploration, and the third is economy tycoon, where you just have a landlord and trying to build your
empire,
your empire, your venture on the planet. And the fourth level of the gameplay is alliance wars, where you have some resources, you have some players, you have some like social connections in the game, and you can wage wars to another alliances. And for example, right now we're having only these two layers of the gameplay in the testnet. But imagine like an alliance, they can gather resources and create a Death Star or Battlestar Galactica, a large piece of spacecraft to like to conquer other bases, other planets. So we have a lot of plans about this upgrade of the gameplay, these stairways to different experiences in terms of the game, because it's always great to have the different ways to have fun.
Yeah, so definitely multiple levels. There's spaceships, and I just opened up the medium CryptoBots game spaceships utility and manufacturing. Just looking at the spaceships, are the spaceships going to be individual NFTs themselves as well?
Yeah, actually, you should fuse your bots in a spaceship, and this is like one directional action where you have to burn, or we say fuse. Like, just imagine if you can make a car out of 3 bicycles. It just That type of like analogy where you can fuse over some parts of a CryptoBots and you're creating a spaceship. It will be a specific NFC, a spacecraft, a spaceship, and it will be also playable, tradable, transferable, etc.
Yeah, it's looking at, so Spaceship is a metagame vehicle that will take bots from the starting planet of Ironus 3 up to the starts to travel, explore, and fight in our outer space. Just like the bots they are made of, ships are not identical. They have different sets of stats, and their part can be upgraded by utilizing the bots' parts to create a stronger spacecraft. So you're really adding multiple dimensions to this. The game itself is going to be inherently deflationary because of the burning of multiple bots. But then you're creating some additional spacecrafts, and then lands will be introduced as well that it look like. So there's always going to be this like elastic type mechanic to it, where NFTs are consistently burned and created for different utilities. So spaceship utility. There's traveling, use spaceships as traveling vehicle for your bots, search and exploring, which you mentioned, discovery missions on which you discover new planets, resources, and assets. Space battles, that looks like fun. So fight other spaceships in the outer space. So there's an issue with most play to earn games today, and this isn't a bash onto any project, but when you look at like the rise of Axie Infinity and some of these other play to earn games that found some success, it was because the token value went up. And one of the common critiques is that the game isn't fun, right? It's very one way, one dimensional. Yes, there's breeding, which is there's some parallels between yourselves and the top of Axies, but it almost fell apart because of the popularity of maybe too many players were playing at one time, and then the token price fell and it became this like cascading effect downwards. You did mention on here, and I'll open up the staking component because I have some staked since like the very beginning.
Cool.
I haven't touched them yet. So right here, the Genesis bots staking. There's the daily rewards is 55,555 bits tokens. And then there's claimable rewards. What is the utility of the BITS token? Is this a universal, or is this a universe that's a fungible currency, or is this specific to one of the handfuls, or one of the few different dimensions of the game, whether it's like fighting or spaceships or lands?
Yeah, so this BITS token, it's like the main token of the game, and also a governance token and in-game token. We will have another one, the oil, but it's only the in-game token to incentivize and the economy of the oil is like it's called like a zero economy, where everything that's produced, it will be burned in the game. So the bits is the main token where you have to, if you want to upgrade your bot, if you want to repair your bot, if you want to mint new bot, if you want to like buy something inside of the game, you will use the bits token. So that's the main token, and we really like want to like to make the shortage of the BITS token, because all the investors, they have like really large lockups for the token for those who invested. For example, the whole like team and the private sale investors, they have 1 year lockup. So the first year there will be only the token from the game, from the players, from the this staking mechanism. So we want to test, and we want like very like natural way of the economy, where there is only selling and buying pressure from the game. So that's why we're just restricted the first initial trading volume just with the gaming community, with the CryptoBots gaming.
Makes complete sense. So here I pulled up the core team too. So there's 6 core members, and you see six. I mean, you guys have been working on it on and off for 5 years. How many people are working on this? What type of human resources does it take to build out something this fully immersive?
Yeah, so actually we're having think about 30 people working for this game. So part of them are from the Planeta gaming studio. So part of them they're just fully working with the CryptoBots. But so we have like shared teams from Planeta gaming studio, which is like quite large ones. But the whole like team right now is about 30 people. And actually, the thing is that it's interesting how this like shift from just play with just Web2 gaming and Web3 gaming. There is a substantial difference because the main like the main focus of the Web2 game, it should be engaging. And of course, everyone is saying right now that we should shift to play and earn because play should be the first part. But it's there. I think there will be two ways to like domains of the industry. The first domain will be when just games even players, they won't be aware they're playing a crypto game. It was just be like a Dota or a Fortnite or some like a really fun game to play. And the other ones, they will be maybe, you know, EVE Online or Entropy Universe, that type of a game where you really should like keep your mind into the game, into the whole economy, because that's the fun part. Of course, the core mechanic, the core gameplay, it should be engaging, but this economy part, it will be more integrated than just selling some skins like in a Fortnite. So, and we're the second type of that game. We're like really having engaging gameplay, but we're like invested in terms of the research of human hours a lot into the economy, into making that like gameplay connected with the economy and that elastic way of regulating the token price. Because we don't want the way of this like death spiral of the game where the token rises and then falls down. So we're just want to provide this sustainable growth, but not too much. And right. Also to regulate, we're going to make the queue in the game when it will be released. So right now we're having the testnet. So players there have whitelists for that, but during the release in September, we're going to have the queue in the game where we will regulate the number of the players, and those who own Genesis Classics and invites people in the game, they will get some benefits to get on the first line.
As a team who's attempting to scale this, and you're kind of looking at it from multiple perspectives, right? It started as play to earn. Now they want to move to play and earn. And there has to be this counterbalance between it being engaging, but there also has to be some sort of like economic stimulus for people to continually play it. How many players do you think this game could hold at a time to make it engaging? Is there a minimum threshold and a maximum threshold? Minimum threshold being economic sustainability, and the maximum threshold being, I guess, technological capacity.
Yeah, so the minimum threshold is about like 4,000 to 5,000 of players, and right now we're having the similar amount in the testnet, and the daily active users is about 1,000 right now. But it's a testnet, it's not mainnet. Mm-hmm. And for the first months, we will have this cap of the daily active users, not more than 10K, and we will regulate that. But in future, of course, we're aiming for 1,000 or hundreds of thousand players. So we have the economy prepared for the large amount of the players, and actually we're aiming on the developing markets, on the Asia, on Brasilia. So we're like talking with the guilds, with the influencers, and we have some capacity for the large like international battles inside of our game.
That's amazing. That is actually pretty incredible. So when it comes to like the technical rollout while still maintaining engagement, I've heard Pondware of Mooncats talk about like with their technology, because they're kind of like a technical forward team that wants to produce innovation. You can't roll it all out at one time, because you have to first test it, but you also don't want to roll it out to where the foundation is so firm that if there's an error, you have to basically roll back all of the whole entire game and then kind of pause it. How does CryptoBots plan to roll this out at once? Obviously, right now you're in the test net. Is there certain features that you tend to lean with first as the main net of the game is rolled out? Kind of what is that thought process to make sure that the game is sustainable and engaging, but also making sure there's no bugs while it's deployed past mainnet?
Yeah, it's really a big pain for us and for every developer to get rid out of all bugs. And we're like having this testnet with like big prizes, and for example, some substantial amount of lands. They was like that amount, 30% of the whole land. They were a prize like a prize for the first season of the testnet. So we're incentivizing our like early adopters, our testers, those who help us in testing to get with that. And our like one of the main focus is to like open the door for the players who don't own the CryptoBots. So the current owners, for example yourself, you will be able to lend that to those who play and to get some revenue. So that's where like solving problems or problem of like easy onboarding of the non-crypto players. And we really want to make a very easy onboarding process, like really easy way how to rent a bot without like dealing too much with the crypto. So it's one of the our main focuses to make that easy way of like transferring the audiences from Web 2 to Web 3. And also we're having our own audience in our Planeta games like Fog. We're having like millions of monthly active users, and maybe not this year, but we're planning for 2023 to make this like slight transferring funnel from like Web 2 mobile games to CryptoBots. So of course we will deliver like the bot battles, ships battles, lands as soon as possible, and the first 2 layers they will be available in the mainnet, and the lands we will have the land sale maybe month after the release. So there will be also another like sale event, and after that the lands will get the utility. And this autumn we want to integrate that landing and renting platform in the game. So and that's after that we will open the boundary, we will open the door for the players. So those who breeded and owning some CryptoBots, they will be able to lend them to another players. So we have like some step-by-step plan in terms of scaling the game.
NFT lands, that always seems to be kind of one of the final components to a fully immersive metaverse, I guess we'd call it. But the CryptoBots team has, to me, a huge advantage with a heavy experience in the Web2 gaming world. So you don't really have to outsource it, where you see Bored Ape Yacht Club, they outsource the metaverse to a handful of teams to go build it out. You guys get to keep it all in house. What's your guys' view on lands? It's kind of been under fire recently that the metaverse is forever expansionary, right? You can essentially, you could create artificial scarcity through the land, because you could say, hey, there's 10,000 pieces of land. But then down the road, you could then create, 10,000 more, and then every other metaverse creates tens of thousands of more. So it kind of like dilutes the value. Has the team discussed the supply mechanic of the lands? And I just want to preface by saying this. Right here on the website, it says, get a plot of land with utility to fit your needs, create a business to provide services to other players, mine resources to sell on the marketplace, or simply rent your land out to fix profits. Lands are an essential asset in the CryptoBots game that broadens your opportunities to both play and earn. Yeah,
it's really like good question about the diluting the whole value of the lands. So our like every planet, and the first planet, Ironos 3, it will be the first planet with the lands, and we will have the opportunity to add new lands, but that will be connected to the number of players. So we have the strategy how to do that, and the calculation, the model, how many players do we need. So after like I think 50K of users, where we will have to like create another planet, because this is like always should be the balance between the supply and demand of the whole goods that are provided. We don't want to like prices go too high, because we want that stable and predictable growth and returns for the players and for the guilds and for the alliances. So the short question, well, we have some plan how to integrate the number of lands connected with the number of players.
Yeah, that definitely needs to have that that supply and demand balance. We see this issue very common in the crypto space, that there's either not enough players and too much land, or if the game becomes too overbloated, you get that kind of like hype cycle where there's too many players and not enough land, and the price goes up, and then you kind of price out the players, and then when you price out players, then you kind of lose the entire base, because not everyone, is worth thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some people just kind of want to have a free entry of some sort, right? You could say free to earn or play to earn. There's a whole bunch of different mechanics to it. On the last note, before we kind of like close this up, you mentioned that the BITS token was going to be utilized as some sort of DAO. That the team had a plan in the future. What does a DAO in the CryptoBots ecosystem look like?
So it's the DAO for it's general governance DAO that we are using to make the major events like NFT land sale or the token generation event. So it's the DAO that have voting rights for the major events, and we're using that type of organization right now. So our investors and those who hold the BITS token, the substantial amount, they have voting rights, and after the token generation event, all others, they will be able to do that. And also inside of the game, inside of the alliance, we will have some small DAOs for all alliances, and they also will be able to make a treasury of the alliance and voting for in-game actions. So we will have this different levels of the DAO, the general one for the company and the small ones for the alliances. For example, to those, what the percentage some alliance want to earn by lending their bots, or what pool, where that funds will go. So we want to also educate the users, players, what is DAO. So that's why we make this like nested DAO, one into another.
Interesting, a nested DAO, huh? Yeah, it's a DAO within a DAO. But then you have to onboard the web too. I have to say, it's this fully immersive universe is quite intriguing. I can tell that the team has definitely put a lot of thought process into the mechanics, the philosophy, the ideology, the implementation, the gameplay. There's so many things to it to create not only a fun metaverse, but a fully engaging one as well that keeps people coming back. So Anton, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate the explanation of this. There's something that CryptoBots possesses, which most current metaverses don't, which is the provenance of the early tokens, right? The Genesis tokens, the Genesis bots that were created in 2017 as one of the first play-to-earn games. So you have quite a nice foundation to lay yourself on, and as you saw, I'm a staker, and I'll be here playing in the future once it gets past testnet, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Looking forward to like playing with you and maybe see you on the battleground.
I'm right. I just want a spaceship, honestly, just to fly across the universe. So thank you again, Anton. Thank you guys for listening and watching. We'll catch you next time.
Have a good one.